Good, good. Gearing up for a busy summer. Right? And especially with waking up to like 48 degrees this morning, and I had to put a fleece on to go outside. Yes, yes, yep. No, I can remember going to a few Corn Belters games several years ago, and I'm just like, why do I have a blanket and a hat on? It's supposed to be summertime. So first on the docket is we are getting ready to unveil a new mural. I mean, and this mural's huge. It takes up like the whole side of a building in downtown Bloomington. It is a building commemorating Lincoln's lost speech. Now, I like to say, quote unquote, lost speech because it's not really lost. This speech Lincoln gave on May 29th, 1856. It was his closing speech at the Bloomington Convention that united several political parties in the anti-slavery movement, which led to the founding of the Illinois Republican Party right here in Bloomington Normal. The speech was given at Majors Hall, which at that time was in downtown building on the corner of Front and East Streets. Unfortunately, like so many historic buildings, it was torn down. First, the third floor where the speech had been given was destroyed by fire. So then it became a two-story structure. But then time, not good upkeep, it just had to come down. And so there are markers there denoting where Majors Hall was, and also this monumental speech that Lincoln gave. But now there's a parking garage there. As so many things, the song says, paved paradise, put up a parking lot, always comes to mind. And it is the 150th. That sounds right. It's a big anniversary this year for that speech. And so we want to honor that seminal moment in Lincoln history, in McLean County history, Illinois history, and commissioned a mural with the same artist who did a mural inside of our building, Troy Freeman of Free Sky Studios. It's a 45-foot tall by 25-foot mural, all in honor of Lincoln. And they call it the lost speech because there's no like complete transcription of that speech. It was supposed to be, it was such a fiery speech that Lincoln gave that it stunned all the reporters in the room, and none of them took notes. That's what they like to say about this speech. But if you look back on reports, minimal reports that there are, you can kind of piece together from other speeches Lincoln had given prior to this to kind of come up with a good summary of what that speech would have been about, which was, ending the expansion of slavery in the United States. So it's going to be next Thursday, May 29th at 5:25 p.m. right here on the east steps of the museum. The 33rd Illinois Regimental Band will be performing outside the building starting at 4:45. And then we'll also have opening remarks, including local Lincoln scholar Guy Fraker, who knows just about everything about Lincoln in these parts. And then everybody will walk down to where the mural is located and get a chance to see it firsthand. So, I mean, it's going to be a really cool event. No, because I am not a Lincoln scholar. And so I can't tell you any specifics, but I do know it was definitely heavily against the expansion of slavery. I mean, that was one of the leading causes of the Civil War, was Lincoln's platform against slavery and wanting to basically contain it, when he was campaigning, which eventually evolved into the complete abolition of slavery, as the war went on. And the Southern United States that eventually seceded from this nation, they wanted no part of Lincoln becoming president because they did not want that institution to die. And they wanted states to be able to have the right to continue to choose whether to be a free state or a slave state. So not spoiling it at all. Absolutely not. It is May 29th, 168 years to the day from when the speech was given. I did the quick math. It'll be here at the museum on our east steps outside the building starting at 5:25. But if you come at 4:45, you'll get to hear the 33rd Illinois Regimental Band perform as well. Yep. We have a couple more spots left for our full week camp. I think we're down to like 2 spots. So still time to join us for that full week experience. That is the week of June 23rd through the 27th. There'll be full day camps, 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. Each 4 of the days start here at the museum. One of the days starts at the David Davis Mansion because that's my personal favorite, the archaeology day, where we get to filthy dirty learning about how to do archaeology. It's for kids entering 5th, 6th, and 7th grades. And so it's a really great hands-on learning experience where you're just totally immersed in history, in careers, and you get to see so many things that most people don't get to see here, when they come to the museum and learn about the things that we offer. You'll get to hear from experts in the fields. You'll get to try your hand at different activities like putting together a mini museum, talk to some local elected officials, get a tour of Rivian. I know that's always a highlight for the kids. It's a lot of fun, and it's a great way to give kids the chance to learn, like, what can you do with a history degree? Because I know a lot of people think you can just be a teacher, or you're that, older person working in a dusty library, looking at old books, First off, I do like looking at old books in a dusty library. Not that our library is dusty at all, but I do thoroughly enjoy going through old books. But there's a lot more to history. You can become a lawyer with a history degree, an archaeologist. You can, work on architecture, obviously go into the museum field. There's so many different career opportunities, and we hope to inspire some of the kiddos who join us for these camps to want to dive right in and get a career in history. Yeah, so aside from the full week camp, which each day is a different career, we're also doing 2 mini camps. And the mini camps, one is called Discovering Downtown, and then the other one is called Curious Curators. Now, Curious Curators, that's a 3 half-day session where obviously you're learning about museum curators, and you culminate with getting to put together your own pop-up museum over at Hanger Art Gallery, which is across the street from the museum. But the Discovering Downtown, we're actually going to get to go to different sites each day that we have with the kids. We get to go to the Bloomington Fire Department down here and learn about what they do. We're going to go to BCPA, the Bloomington Center for the Performing Arts, and get a behind-the-scenes tour there. We're going to go to the McLean County Arts Center. It's just a lot of different experiences and learning about our downtown and what there all is to offer in downtown. And then, as I mentioned, during the full week, we're going to be looking at local politics, meet some elected officials, see how history and politics goes hand in hand. Of course, Archaeology Day, which we've done every year since this camp began, where we're going to be at the David Davis Mansion, teaching kids how to be an archaeologist. On the Wednesday, we're going to be doing art and architecture, also visiting a community garden. Thursday is our museum studies behind the scenes tour. And then Friday, we end with a tour at Rivian and also some time at Miller Park. So it's a jam-packed week. Absolutely. I wish I had something like this when I was a kid. My inspiration when I was in high school getting involved in archaeology was Indiana Jones because I wanted to go find treasure. Which I have to tell you, X never marks the spot in archaeology. And I've never found anything golden before. So, but again, I mean, this is real hands-on experience. Like you're really doing these things. I mean, even though we bury artifacts, that the kids can find, it's still hands-on learning, and we, teach you with the real tools that archaeologists use, taking measurements, learning about digging carefully, not just digging a giant hole, you know, going to Rivian, seeing workers in action, learning about the EV industry. It's it's different than your typical summer camp. It's you have real experts who've donated their time to help us and the students learn more about what they do and hope to inspire, future generations to get into those career fields. Yeah, go to our website, mchistory.org, where all the registration links are. The full week of camp is $250 per camper. Mini camps are a $100 registration fee. If your household income is less than 36,000 a year, your camper qualifies for a full scholarship, either at the full week or the partial weeks. All the information is on our website, mchistory.org. That's my bad. I hit a button. I'm so sorry. No, so this usually our lunch and learn we have on the second Tuesday of the month. We're actually this is the first season that we've actually done summer ones. Typically, we just do the academic year because a lot of students and people travel in the summer and they're gone. But we are so excited to have Buck Farley, he's the archivist at State Farm, join us on Thursday, June 5th at 12:10 to kind of share secrets from the vault, I like to say, at State Farm, because we've never had State Farm come and do a program with us. And I guess it was 2 years ago now, our staff got a behind the scenes tour of State Farm's archives over at the main corporate location. And I was just blown away by the stories he was telling and all the things that we were seeing. And I pulled him aside and I was like, fuck, what do I got to do to have you come and speak at our museum and share some of these cool stories? Because they're not like public tours. Like this was a special thing because our institutions were together. And so this was really cool that our staff got to do this. I mean, I was like, my eyes were as big as saucers. I felt like a kid in a candy store just getting to go through. I got to see their museum, and the museum is only available to employees at State Farm. Secret inside knowledge. They have a penny smasher there. So that was super exciting that I got to add those to my collection. But in any case, so he's going to be sharing stories about State Farm's rich history, including GJ Mural, who is the founder, Adley Russ, the milk program, roller skates, and more. So you don't want to miss either coming in person here at the museum on Thursday, June 5th at 12:10, or we're also going to be live streaming and recording this program. I'll give you a hint about one of the stories that he'll share about the roller skates. So when the State Farm building was just the main downtown building, literally I can look out the windows here and see the old State Farm building. Women would deliver mail on roller skates throughout the building. And it's just like the coolest, like, first off, I would fall flat on my face if I was delivering mail on roller skates through a building. But it's just like fun, quirky stories, traditions, it's just little nuggets of history that he's going to be sharing. And so I'm so excited that he's going to be able to come and share these stories with people here with us. Yes, so originally State Farm was in one building on the same, just one block here from the museum. And that was its headquarters until the early 70s when they pretty much had outgrown that space. And they had added to it over time. I think they've made 3 additions from 1929 to like 1945. So it's, you can see it, the growth of the building in the architecture as you look at the building. Anyway, so when they moved their corporate headquarters to Veterans Parkway with the big corporate building that's there now, they maintained this building, what they started calling it the fire building, where they dealt with like fire insurance policies. And over time, of course, they added Corporate South. They added the Illinois Operations Building. I mean, there's so many different buildings for State Farm here. And then, of course, as the company continued to grow, they started putting the hubs in Atlanta and Arizona, and more of the employees began to be transferred out of this fire building here in downtown Bloomington until they eventually closed it in 2018 and sold it to a developer in Rockford who at first was going to do commercial rentals there, but now I believe the plan is to turn it into residential, which will be great to help solve some housing issues here in Bloomington Normal. But we're so grateful that building still stands because it's a gorgeous building. I got to tour that once too, when it was still State Farm. It was awesome. I mean, Maherl's office was in there at that time, and I mean, it was just so cool. There's so much rich history with State Farm and how they helped Bloomington grow and thrive because of becoming an insurance auto giant. It is here at the museum, June 5th, Thursday, June 5th at 12:10 p.m. It'll also be live streamed via our YouTube page. You can find those details on our website, makehistory.org. It is free. Just bring your lunch and you can learn. Yeah. Yeah, no, we're super excited because, like, again, State Farm's never come and done a program at our museum, so I'm really excited about this one. It's about a 50-minute program. It could go longer with all the questions and answers. Yeah, we're, we're we will have some at least one follow-up article for our Sunday Pantograph column because Buck and I are working on that together. So it'll be some more stories from the vaults that we'll be able to feature in the Pantograph too. Yeah, so this is a bonus knit in for this year. We typically only have four. This knit in will be on World Knit in Public Day on Saturday, June 14th at the Bistro in downtown Bloomington. We're partnering with Prairie Pride Coalition where we are knitting awareness ribbon blocks or crocheting them, and they will be put together for a World AIDS awareness blanket to celebrate survivors of those living with AIDS and also those we have lost. That will be Saturday, June 14th from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. at the Bistro in downtown Bloomington. We will have some yarn, needles, and hooks and patterns available for people to use if you don't have any. Go to our website, makehistory.org, or follow us on Facebook or Instagram. Thanks for having me.